The elderly women came to the bar at 8 points and 2 glass beer was chewings. He is accompanied by the tresses of rain, a sudden sense seems to be something. When he transposes a biological life on the ground, he looks at the food available to him for himself or herself, stimulantly published, directly dividing the face of the elderly. 2 police officers on the vehicle see the writ, rush to help. Small arms control near the mountains, strenuous efforts will be made to estrange from the face of the elderly. When they heard, see a more horrific 3-story development to reach out to the hands, to drag them into the past, and to the elderly to do so. Stimulating the mountains on the police vehicle, it will be replicated directly to prevent them from fleeing. Having opened the sound of the police in small mess, and having been directly intimidated by the mountains of the 5 corners, they escape police vehicles. Upon return to a room where information is given on the outside side, the head alone will produce wire guns filled with gasoline and small points of strength. Morning the chutes of the fires were directly removed and turned to the balconies, which were directly closed by the small pumps. He was humiliated to the head of the rains. Grand Mountains, catching up with his small weight, breaking down the tide, breaking down, Cranesting, Crane's photograph. When he saw the whole of the fish was placed on the wall and then left behind. He was unanticipated with the rise of small-scale hair-triggered hulls, which were then given to hundreds of meters of small mountainous swathes in order to catch up. Seating room, fish in large proportions. After breaking down, her children play with due diligence. They come to the 2nd floor to respond, decide by and the largest number of wheat, fetching the key of the excavator. They want to build solar occupants, such as fish, using excavators to death. They have become a sky of small doors, where they have cynically and have nothing to do. This is a time when the men and women are opened, and he takes care of the workers. The tiny of the force that wants to launch an attack against him is one of the fruits of a shell. He went to the warehouse to hide white alcohol on the ground. The keys of the excavator were finally found after a fire machine was opened. Not surprisingly, she was opened by large fish. She was forced to escape, with the result that she was not able to escape. There is a sharp drop in the burner of a 3-sided self. He was also accepted in the light of the fires of God, and his legs were returned. He hangs on the men's knives, on the side of hand, i.e. on the hand the threshold, eventually, was his success. He began with a pica coming to the threat of dangerous mountainous terrain, throwing to the throne. Inner boxes, drive cars and flee. There are 6 kin-dependent children. They grapple with large fish in the hills of the working land and let them go to the mountains. Small-scale digging machines, for our part, delay us. As long as Zhang has dared to cross the skirmishes, shots were fired on the ground fuel. Generally speaking, it seems that what is understood would threaten him and then retreat. At the time of this, the bulldozers were bulldozed, bringing large fish forward. The pit, fish in bulk, is kept below, and the bullets are not permitted. It is a surprise that they are tempted to plunge to the surface, prepared to drink white alcohol. He is as deadly as he is in the case of white liquor in the larger fish, when the building is required to eat the mountains. Grand Mountains. Lighting the mountains, the signal on the body of the gun is open to a wall, instantaneous fires, and direct overflow of fish. Incineration, cost.